Welcome back, my bird experts. Today, we get to begin your first informative paragraph. We've done a lot of talking about it, and we've even written one together. But today, it's all about you guys. You're going to start with your focus statement and give me your first detail. But first, we need to figure out what we're writing about. What have we been learning about the past week and a half, guys? Right, birds and their body parts. But what body parts specifically have we been talking more about? Exactly, their beaks and how they use their beaks to survive. So when we think of a focus statement tells the big idea of your piece of writing. What is the main idea that we want to get across to readers? What do we want our reader to know as they read our paragraph? Exactly. We want them to know how birds use their beaks to survive. Now, how can we put that into a focus statement? When we talked about the birds and their feathers, we said birds' feathers help them survive in many ways. We could use a sentence like that, or we could just simply say birds' beaks help them to survive. Either way would be good, and you can put more into your focus statement based on what birds you want to write about. So today I want you to think of 2 different birds that we've talked about so that you can get an idea of which birds you want to discuss in your writing. We talked about an eagle, a flamingo, a skimmer, spoonbill, a song sparrow, a macaw, a woodpecker, a hummingbird. There's so many birds that you can choose from. You just need to choose 2, but you have to know how they're using their beaks to survive because those are going to be your important details, okay? Once you pick your 2 birds, then it's time for you to focus on your focus statement, on your opening sentence. What is letting your reader know what this whole paragraph is going to be about? We know it's about beaks. We know it's about birds. But what do we want them to know about the beak? We want them to know that birds all have different beaks that they use in different ways to help them survive. So we could say something like, many birds have different beaks that they use to help them survive. Or birds' beaks help them to survive in lots of different ways. However you choose to make your focus statement, make sure that your reader knows and it's clear that this is what your paragraph is going to be about. You'll have time today to work on just your focus statement and your first detail. And we'll worry about the rest of the paragraph on Friday. As you've written your focus statement, then I want you to think, which bird would you like to talk about first? Out of the 2 birds that you picked, which one is your favorite? That's a great way to pick who you'll start with. So if the hummingbird is your favorite bird and you want people to know how a hummingbird uses its beak, then we'll start with that bird. I know that a hummingbird has a long and thin beak, right? And how does a hummingbird use that beak? In our science talk, King told me that a hummingbird uses its beak to drink the nectar from a flower. And that's correct. That's exactly what we talked about in our book. So our first detail to support that birds use their beaks in lots of different ways would be a hummingbird, or some birds, have long, thin necks, or long, thin beaks, Or a better way to put that would be, some birds, like the hummingbird, have long, thin beaks. That's a good way to start our sentence, right? That's a good starting sentence for our detail. But it's not exactly telling us how that bird is using it to survive. Long and thin doesn't make the bird survive, does it? No, so we've got a little bit more explaining to do. Remember, in our detailed sentences, the first sentence describes the body part. So that's what we just did. We said that beak was long and thin. Now our second sentence needs to tell what the body part does. So we would say something like, the hummingbird uses its beak to drink nectar from flowers. So we said the hummingbird, some birds like the hummingbird have long, thin beaks. The hummingbird uses its beak to drink nectar from the flowers. So we told about the body part, we described the body part as long and thin, and we told what that body part does. It's going to be really important for you to follow these two things. Describe it and tell what it does. But that's exactly why we made our class notes in the way that we did. So if I take a look at our class notes, I can see my chart here, and it shows me to describe the beak and how does the beak help the bird survive. And it also tells me the name of the bird. I'm going to post our class notes. I know you guys took some great notes and you can refer back to those. And I'll also post these so that you can see them. So that you can pick a bird, describe the beak, and then tell how the beak helps that bird survive. Remember, today we are just working on our focus statement and our first detail. Your first detail is 1 or 2 good sentences. And because we need to describe the beak and tell what the beak does, it needs to be at least 2 sentences. If you add another, then that's okay too. But no less than 2. We'll continue on with this, and I'll post all the notes that you need, as well as the pages that we read, if you want to go back and look at those in our slides tomorrow. I'm going to leave you to your work, and don't stress about it. If it's something that you don't understand and you need a little bit more help on, I'm always available to help. Just send me a message on Dojo, and we can set up a time that I can help you, and we can work through this together. You guys are working on this by yourselves right now, but then we're going to continue to edit and revise to make sure it's high quality work. So just do your best for right now, and I'll check in with you tomorrow on our next detail and our conclusion statement. All right? See you guys for math.